Yes, coronavirus is here, and I am so sorry. But this is actually a really good time for self-reflection, self-placement, and a good time to kind of sit with ourselves and to reflect on what are guiding rules of our life. And ultimately, I'm sure there's a lot of fear that is coming forward for you, and it's a great time to address the fear that you hold within you, because these kind of events bring it out. And so much of this channel is to help you address your fears so that you can live more authentically in this life while you're in it. So, you know, I would say for Corona, absolutely take precaution. Hopefully it's not a bad situation for you and your family, and it probably won't be, but take precaution, because you have a responsibility to your family, you have a responsibility to your community and to your country at large. And so we always need people to check into this responsibility. And even when there is no corona, we still want people to know that they have a place in their community and they have to behave a certain way for the greater good of humanity. So yes, do take precaution. Now, go to Costco, buy the things that you need, but how can you show up to these stores and get the resources that you need without being hysterical about it? And that's what this video is about. When you take precaution, you can do it without mentally and spiritually letting yourself be overcome with fear. Address the fear that you have, that you're worried that Corona will do. So maybe it will be the death of an elderly, or or that you yourself will be diagnosed with Corona. And walk yourself through that. Okay, accept that maybe that will happen. And surrender to the fact that it happened. And realize that at the end of the day, you don't really have control over everything. And so when you're running into Costco buying everything, you think you're in control, and I got to make sure that I make sure, I got to make sure this, we have that, I had to. Or you can say, let's go into Costco and let's see what there is. Let's see what we can get. And whatever we can and can't get, it's okay. That God does provide. We'll find a way. Things will come together. And this is a place of confidence, because you know that at the end of the day, you don't have control over everything. And letting God have the control that He has, and you know your place with God. So it actually makes you be relaxed, because you know that God's managing and handling everything. And so that's kind of the demeanor that we want to have while we take precaution. And then, finding that confidence. There's a lot of things that threaten life and death for us in a day-to-day action. I mean, like driving. We know how risky driving is, and we see car accidents all the time. But we learned from health officials and motor vehicle professionals that it's best for us to wear a seatbelt. And so we wear the seatbelt. But we know that our life is always at risk. So your life was at risk before Corona, and it's going to be at risk after Corona, but you still live in a way where you know that you do your best, and you don't know what the day is going to have, and when you get hit with it, you're going to always try to handle it in your best way. So we're now being exposed to another layer where we know that there's a precaution needed, and there's certain outcomes that can happen. If you have any questions about how to stay mentally and spiritually sane during this time of Corona, DM us right here on Instagram.